This is Arika with another quick tutorial on embroidery. We're going to turn a bag from a regular wristlet bag into a crossbody. Let's do it! On my channel, I have the basic bags, but you have been requesting to know how to make it into a crossbody. So I decided to go ahead and make this one into a crossbody since this one was my smaller 5x7 clutch. This one is going to be the 6x10 crossbody versus that smaller 5x7 clutch. Now I'm at the step where I've created the half the bag, and I'm on the part where you normally would flip, clip, unzip. So I have unzipped it. I'm not going to do a clip because I'm going to turn it into a crossbody, but I will need to flip it once I put my pieces on my hardware. I'm going to need a piece of vinyl. I'm going to match it with the front of it. The back of it is going to be, it's going to be a two-tone bag. So the back of it is green, matching this zipper and matching this piece here. So I'm going to take a piece of vinyl, and I'm going to take my two D-rings. These are D-rings. I'm assuming that's probably because it's in the shape of a D and it's a ring. So I'm going to take it and cut a piece of this vinyl to go inside of it, like so. So this is an inch, so I'm going to cut down just right at an inch so it'll fit nice and snug. After I do that, I'm going to finish the bag, but you will need these little clips here, or some type of clip to make your straps. And I have a tutorial on that, and I'm going to link it to the straps to show you how to do that to add to the bag. It'll say clip. You're going to put these here at the top, and it's going to still have the fabric inside, and you're going to unzip. So let's get started. All right, so I have my fabric that I'm going to use inside the D-ring. I'm going to take a ruler, any type of ruler. This ruler is broken. I'm going to take a ruler, and I'm going to make this little strip into a 1 inch to fit inside my D-rings. Here are my D-rings there. I'm going to use my fabric cutter. You can use anything you want. I'm using this because it's easier. And I'm going to get 1 inch of it. You don't need a whole lot. You're going to basically need what you would do when you do the clip part of it. So I'm going to see if I can do that here. And I have this long strip. It's just a strip that I have. You don't need this long of a piece. I'm just going to cut it down to 1 inch so I can use it on multiple projects. My inch. I'm just gonna go straight up. That one shifted. I don't know if you saw that, but it shifted. So I'm gonna cut that again. Okay. All right, get that out the way. So this is my 1 inch strip here, and I am gonna get enough to fold into this. So I'm going to take my D-ring and just show you how it works. And all you're doing basically is just getting a piece. I'm going to get about this much. So I'm going to measure it for you. All right. I'm going to get about that much. So let me cut it. That's for the first D-ring. Let me look at that. You're going to place the D-ring. Yep, that's enough right there, because I normally put it right at the zipper, and then the when I put the bag on, when I flip the bag, it's going to just go around it like this. So I have about this much, and then when I flip it over, it's going to be about that much hanging off. So that's about right. Let's measure this so you'll know exactly how much you need. It is maybe 2.5. Yep, right about 2.5. I would go just a little bit over 2.5, because I'm going to get this much for the second one. So I'm just going to take this, get about as much as I did on the first one. So a little bit over 2.5 there. All right, so that is that. And let's do this part. So it still will be like a clip because you're clipping these D-rings on here. I am going to, there's my D-ring. This end part that's flat, I'm going to stick it in like that and fold it over. And then you will need some tape. I'm going to grab my little elephant. I have unzipped it here. I'm going to go up there. And then I'm going to measure about 3/4 of an inch in. I don't like it too far in because you don't want the straps really close together, but then you don't want it too far to the end. So let's see here. Maybe about 1 inch in. Have the edge of the D-ring at about 1 inch. So we're going to do that one. Let's see how that is. All right, so my D-ring, my fabric is wrapped around the flat edge, and I'm going to take it. Oh, I need my ruler again. And I'm going to get about 1 inch in, and I'm going to put it right. Let's see. If I do it here. All right, so my D-ring normally is on the zipper teeth, and I'm going to put it right under the zipper, the bottom zipper teeth, so I know where to put it on this side. So I'm going to put it right there. And let's do 1 inch over. There's my inch. My D-ring is on the bottom of the zipper teeth, and I'm just going to tape it in place. You could put a little bit here, just a little bit. You don't need a whole lot. I don't like the sticky stuff going to my fabric, so I'm just going to put a little bit just to hold it down. So that's one side of the D-ring, and we're going to do the same thing with this one. Here's my other D-ring. There's the flat side. I'm going to stick it in like this. So the back side of the fabric is facing toward the flat part of the D-ring. I'm going to fold it over. Same thing on this side. I am going to take another piece of tape. I'm going to measure 1 inch on this side, and I'm measuring from the edge of the tack down here on the fabric. So I did that on this side, and I'm doing it on this side. I'm going to get that 1 inch right there. So my D-ring should be about here, right at the teeth, at the bottom of these teeth. And then I'm going to tape it down like so. And I'm just going to get like a little small one just to hold that down. All right. So let me show you again. All right, let's talk about this again. So I am on the step where I have to add the back of my fabric. I have to add some type of clip if I want it. And I'm not doing it here. I'm doing it here so we can turn it into a crossbody. And I did unzip it. If you don't unzip it, you just have ruined your bag. So please make sure you unzip it. You could do without these clips. You cannot do without unzipping. And you definitely want to flip. So I have flipped my fabric. I'm going to lay it across on the back side of this. Let's see here. And I'm making sure that I'm covering all around the pieces here. You want to make sure you go be beneath this here, and you want to be over the zipper area here. So I am, and we're going to go back. We're going to go to machine, and I'll show you how this part here was added on. All right, so I'm going to add this back to the machine, adding the back side to it. So whatever pattern you use, you could do these same steps. You don't necessarily have to have this particular pattern. Parker on the Porch patterns, one of my favorites. I am going to, and I don't want this to go over this like this and knock things out of place. So I'm going to show you a trick that I do. All right, I'm going to lift it back up. I'm gonna go to my my interface here, and I'm going to click the needle button to adjust it by one step. So I'm gonna go up one stitch. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna go by one stitch by going to the plus sign, and I'm gonna go up one stitch before I let my needle down. I did it once. So wherever you stop on a project, if you know you're getting ready to add your bag and your needle is not already in place, add one stitch. One stitch is not going to hurt you. Add one stitch to it before you let your presser foot down. That way it doesn't knock anything out of place. Once I figured that out, I was like, oh, yes, I can do that and not mess my projects up. So we are now going to go around this whole bag. I'm going to let my foot down. Let's see. Let my foot down. And then it's going to stitch around. I'm going to say okay. And then we're going to do the back stitching for this. Here we go. Let me put that down. Here we go. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yes, I do want black thread. Okay, here we go. Okay, so that just did the stitching to add the backing to also add the D-ring clips that we added. So only thing left for the bag after you do that part is to add your lining. So I'm going to take this off and finish the lining so you can just see, and then we can turn the bag. So I had this particular one. This one is one of the Juneteenth bags that I wanted to do. So I'm going to add the fabric back at the table. Okay, I'm back at the table. This is the hoop on the back side. You can see that I had taped something down to hold the fabric. Now I'm going to get a piece to go across here, just like you normally would do on any of the bags that I've done on my channel, or most bags you have to add the lining last. So usually this step would be with most designers. I have the fabric here. I did not pre-cut it. It's just like a go with the flow kind of thing. So I'm going to get a piece of fabric. It needs to be, I actually have started, and I've been doing it for a while, but I did not do it with this particular bag. Started cutting out some little templates. And I do have a scan and cut that I need to unbox so I can stop having to cut this stuff. But for now, we are going to do it like so. And I need a piece here and a piece there. And yep, I am cutting all kind of janky. Normally I don't cut like this, but I am a teacher and it's the end of the year and it's crazy in my world. All right, so I'm going to put this over it, covering it. I want enough down here that I can flip it, so I'm gonna pull it down just a little bit. Yep, so I can turn it. Oh, I don't like it shifted. Let me do it like that. All right, so I could take this tape here and pull it on top, or I can get a new piece of tape. This is some painter's tape, the blue painter's tape, and I think I'm just gonna go with some new tape. All right, I'm gonna take this here, put me a piece. So I have a piece here, tape down. I'm going to tape this down up here, and I'm gonna tape the side. All right, so so now that I have tape here, here, I am not going to tape this here. I mean, you could. Not necessary for me, but I'm going to do it for tutorial purposes. All right, so I have everything taped down and hopefully it won't move. I cut that kind of crazy. I'm going to do this to make sure it doesn't come up. All right, so I have my tape and I'm going back to machine to finish up this part. And then I'll show you what it looks like when you turn the bag over to see your D-rings. And then I will go ahead and do the straps. All right. All right, when you add the last part with the fabric, what I do is I kind of keep it lifted up as far as I can, so I won't make anything pull up. So I'm just gonna lift it on, slide it up. My thing is not rested against, it's kind of lifted up so I can make sure I slide it in. And I press my thing down. And this will be the final step before we can turn it. Let's do it. As far as the bag is concerned, that is it. All right, so we're going to take it off the hook, just untwisting. Top frame. There's some tape that came off the bottom frame, and this is the completed bag. So I'm going to take this, you can take scissors, I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to actually cut around the perimeter of this bag on the outside of the lines, except for down here. I'm going to cut the tops and the sides first. So I'm going to go straight up this here. And depending on how much you have left, I need to go through that again. And what you have left, this is going in the trash. You could reuse that. If you're anal like I am, you could probably use that, but most of this stuff is trash for me. All right, I need to put the trash can over here. All right, so that's one side. I just flipped it over so I can do the other side. I'm right-handed. I'm just gonna go straight down. Same thing, looking to see if there's anything I can use, and then the rest is trash. You could reuse this here. You could. All right, and then now the bottom of the bag is what you don't want to cut because you have the extra piece of your lining. So I'm going to cut only this top part. I'm gonna turn it like this, and this is the top of the bag because I saw that the opening was there. I'm just going to go straight down this one. Now you could do one or two things. You could do what I just did, or you can be like some other people, and what they do is they cut extra pieces of where the clip parts are. So that clip right there, they would cut a little bit and go around it and then cut so they can maybe secure the bag. I don't. Hopefully, I haven't had any issues reported, so I just roll with the flow. I don't go extra on the sides. Now, if that does happen to me, then I probably will start. But so far, so good. All right, so now that we have the sides and the tops done, what I do here is I flip where, let me take this tape off. Don't need that tape. I flip where this extra fabric is at the end that has the opening. That's the opening of your bag. We're gonna birth it in a second. I just fold it back and then I cut this way. I cut on the other side, for the other parts, because you want to make sure that you do not cut any stitches, and the outer part is on this part, on this side. So that's why I cut on this side. And then when I get ready to do the bottom piece, I lift this and cut that way. That's why I do that. All right, so now that the bag, oh, I don't even think I mentioned, it was so, normal for me. I didn't even mention. I do round the corners just a little bit. I just take it and go around it like a little corner. I just curve it a little bit. Just so it's not too pointy. And I actually do it at the bottom too. So I just curve it a little bit. And then I cut. And then you can cut inward and curve a little bit. Alright. All that is trash. And it's time to birth. Now when you birth your bag, which is what they call it in embroidery sewing, you will need some type of tool to kind of poke at it. I did have another one. If I can find it, I will show you. I use this one mostly now. Okay, I do not see it. But it was like a white, that had two ends. One was round and one was pointing. You do not want anything pointing, poking at your edges. So that's why I use this dowel. You can get this from Dollar Tree or Walmart and packs. So what I'm going to do now is take this opening and then try not to rip your stitches. I do sometimes somehow. So I'm going to try to go extra careful so you can see. I'm going to turn it inside out. And I'm just gently, as gently as I can go, I'm trying to turn it, which is birthing. Turn the bag. Oop, you heard that? That was a rip. Try not to be like Arika on that part. It's turning. All right. Now once, did I do that? Ah, I did not pay close attention. I did not pay close attention, guys, to my fabric. Well, I guess this bag will be mine. Can't sell it. I did not pay close attention to my fabric when I laid it down. The very last step. This right here is actually the back side. Because if you look, this is a prettier printed side. So yeah. I'm gonna keep it moving, and this is my back. So I'm just poking out the corners with my fingers, and I'll do that on all the corners. Can't believe I did that. That's why I shouldn't do tutorials at night. I should do them on Saturday mornings like I normally do. So now I'm going to take the zipper and unzip, and then I'm trying to poke these corners here. So now that I have all my corners nice and poked, I just unzip some more. And then this is the process right here where you try to flatten it out as much as possible. So when you glue, you're gluing how the bag will look. It would have been perfect had I not turned on the wrong side. Oh well, you learn from my mistakes. Always watch your fabric, and I normally do. Long day with the kids at work, and then come home to my own. All right, so I'm going to take, I need some clamps. And you need some clear, get clear fabric glue. Don't do what I did. Got the white and it showed through. You want clear. So I'm going to take it and open it. And then I'm going to take, I folded it in. And so when the glue hits this part and the clips hit this part, it's going to seal it together. So I'm just going to put a little bit. You don't need a whole lot. Let me do it on this side. And then I'm going to take some wonder clips And one of the clips are great because they don't show the markings. So if you don't have any, grab you some from the craft store. They are amazing. I'm gonna put about 5 on this one. It just depends on what size bag you're making. I'm gonna use 5. And I'm gonna set a timer, 5 minutes. I don't really set timers, but you know, that's what you can do. Set a timer for 5 minutes. I usually take care of cleaning up or doing something else and then come back. So I'm gonna let that dry and I'll be back. All right, while that is drying, we're gonna move on over to the straps. I have cut the straps into a 2-inch strip, and it's 54 or 56, and sew them. All right, so you will need some more clips, and all you're doing, this side, because this is vinyl, we only have a 2-inch strip. If it was a fabric, some type of edges that weren't like this, straight edges when you cut it may fray, you would have to do a turn in twice, which would mean you needed 4 inches to turn it to 2 to turn it to 1, because we're going to turn this into a 1 inch. This is 2, turn it to 1. So all I'm going to do right now in this process is turn the wrong sides together and clip. Hold on. All right, so what we're going to do now, let's just take this here, fold it in half to make it go from 2 inches to a 1 inch. And I'm just going to take and clip it all the way down. You do not have to do the clips so close together, but I'm just doing it for demonstration purposes. It's a long strap, so you could either go close or you spread it out some, just as long as the clips are holding it in place. I'm gonna spread this one out again. Like so, whichever method you prefer. I think I prefer the closer, so I don't have to fight with it as I'm moving it throughout the sewing machine. Now this is not an embroidery machine. This strap is much longer, so in order to do the crossbody, you will need a sewing machine. Could you do it by hand? Yeah, but it probably will be a pain in the behind, because you're going to have to do a stitch all the way down each side. And I'm actually going to show you the rivet way. You could, let me see. You could do it the way I used to do it before I got my rivet press, which doesn't look as professional. It's good, it's okay, just not as professional looking. And since I sell, I prefer the professional look. I do have a tutorial on rivet press, on the rivet press that I use. I do not have a cams. I have one from Amazon, which was a little bit cheaper. Does the same thing. It looks like I'm running out of clamps because I used, oh, I only had 5 on that one. This little pack started out as 50, and they seem to disappear. Just like your silverware in your kitchen, these clamps just walk away. They break too. So that was in. That means I am really out of clips. Okay. Well, let me go ahead and pull some that are in here, just so I can finish this up. I'm probably about to grab them 5 that are on that bag. Let's grab one in here. Let's grab this one. And then let's grab that one. Then I'm gonna take these off. It's been 5 minutes for these. One, two, three, four, like it needs one in here. 5. All right, so this is the way the strap is folded in, and then we're going to sew from one end down all the way across to the other side. Before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and turn this cute little bag so you can see it. So now we're going to turn again, and this way it's a little easier because the zipper is now open. And I'm going to take the little dowel, and for all my corners, I'm going to poke it out a little bit. Why did that poke it out? Something popped in my head just now. So I'm going to do that. I know I've been gone for a while with my videos. I have so much going on in my life. Oh my goodness, I love this bag. I think, okay, that is so cute. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna take this side and I'm gonna poke it out. I actually had someone to buy several Juneteenth things today, and she actually has bought several. She's a repeat customer. She may be getting this bag. I may text her and say, hey, I hope you don't mind the inside fabric is during the wrong way. Okay, and I'm just gonna press on these sides. I'm gonna take this tape off. And she also promotes me on social media. Every time she buys something, she shows it and promotes it. So hey, I like to give too. So you see there's a little clamp on the little. There are your D-rings. So I'm gonna zip it up. All right. So now that I have that, once we sew this strap, we are going to have to add these onto it to make it adjustable, and I'll show you that as well. So let's go sew this back on the strap. That bag is so cute. I love it. It's two-sided. Has the D-rings to make it a crossbody. All right, maybe I should have you going up and all right. You don't have to go super fast with this. Just take your time and just keep it straight. Let me take this off. Now when I go back down the other side, I do go kind of fast. But this side, I kind of take my time. And I'm making sure they're both aligned on top and bottom. A little bit at a time. end of the first side, I'm going to pivot, which means to lift up your pressure fed, turn, and then we're going to go to this edge here, and then we'll pivot again, and then I'm going to go straight down, which is going to go a lot faster because now, let's see, I'm going to have to cut that. Cut or do the edge paint, which we're going to do the edge paint. All right, so I'm going to go straight down. I'm going to do the same thing with the pivot. Pivot. I'm gonna back stitch. Alright. And then there's a cutter on the side. And then you can see we now have a strap. Now, some people were showing me how to take Sharpies. We didn't have the edge paint, but now that I have edge paint, I do it the professional way. And we're going to do that. Cover up all that. All right, let's do it. All right, now that the strap is finished, this one here is the vinyl. I have done the waterproof canvas, which is the one that I actually accidentally deleted. I'll have to do this waterproof canvas one later. This one, you need a 4-inch wide strip, and you will do a double fold. With this vinyl, this is a 2-inch wide strip, and it's only a single fold to go down. So I'm going to do this one to go with this bag. I could have did a waterproof strap on this bag. Well, maybe I'll do both, and then you can see that, because I do have some black. I may try that later. Anyway, I'm going to move this stuff out the way, because we're going to use edge coat. And I have, let me put this paper down so I don't have to talk about paper. This is just some scrap paper I have that I put in bags. And I don't want to mess up. I don't want to mess up my mat underneath. So I have some edge coat. I do have it in black. And I have it in brown. I thought I bought it in red. I probably have to buy some blue too. If I can find some. Alright, I'm just going to open this up. Spray it in the bottle. I haven't used it before. There is the little tab. I'm going to lift it up. And then I'm going to put this. I don't want that to go into my, I really probably could have got some of that to save it. Oh well. All right. I am going to use, let me make sure this stuff is off my hands, because when I opened it up, a lot came out. All right, I'm going to move my bags out the way. Put the strap over here. I better cut that. Let's cut that out the way. All right. This thing here is for leather making. It's on Amazon. I'll link the description where I got it. I'm going to open it up. They had different colors, so I went with the purple. All right, we're going to, and I want, what you're doing essentially is just taking and rolling this on the edge. I need to clean that up. Clean up your strap. You're just taking and dipping inside. I want to use this little I'm just going to take this and dip it inside. And you're essentially just rolling it on that edge. Oh, look at that. That's a nice little touch to it. Just gonna roll it. I need some blue. I have a lot of straps that I made in navy. And this thing rolls as you're going. Let's see. See how it moves? All right, let's dip. Make sure you're seeing the dip. I'm dipping. And then I'm rolling. Doesn't look like you need a whole lot. This is definitely better than that Sharpie method I saw. More professional. I love. Now I just want to have all the colors that I need for my straps. I have brown, I have black. I need to look and see what other colors they have. Now that you've seen me roll it, I'm probably going to speed this next part up. It's looking really nice. I'm going to try to lay this on my paper too. It takes 20 minutes or so to dry. So now I'm just going to speed it up. Dry, and then I actually have to go to work, so I will be back later on to edit this video. I'm going to take this I close that up. Again, I have two right now that I know of. I need to look and see if I bought a navy, and then I'm going to go wash this off. It washed right off. You just put it under some water and the paint comes right off. Easy peasy. The old way, I used to do the little Sharpie trick, but I wanted a more professional look. That's Sharpie blue, Sharpie red, and then that's what it was looking like at first. Let's see, like that. Now I use edge coat. I have a light brown and a black, and I just completed putting it on that black strap. All right, I have finished my first coat. It doesn't say how long to let it dry. It just says it dries to a medium gloss, and it says never shake, so don't shake the bottle. I'm gonna teach you so I follow directions. And then it says buff with a soft cloth for a brighter finish. So I am going to do a second coat real quick. And then I'm going to re-rinse it off. Let me put it. piping cup. And all you gotta do again is rinse this off with some water, and then I will let it dry completely. It's gonna dry way over than what it needs because I gotta go to work. Okay, this next part is to finish up the strap. Remember, I painted it, put the edge coat on there. That's what it looks like. And now we need to add the hardware because the hardware is going to attach to these clips here on the back. All right, so to do so, you're going to need some type of hole punch if you don't have the rivet press with the punch. I do have a punch with it, but I prefer to use this here, and I'll put that in the description. You're going to also need your hardware piece, and this particular strap that I did is 1 inch. You could do like the 3/4 inch or 1.5 inch, whatever. But whatever your strap width is, that's the same hardware that you need to use. So I'm going to pull out the 1 inch hardware piece, and I'll need 2 of these. So that's my 1 inch for that. So I need 2. And then you will also need your buckle. Let me grab that. Your buckle also needs to be 1 inch. So let's see here. I believe this is the 1 inch. I'm just gonna see by putting it on here. Yep, that's the 1 inch. You could also place it on your mat to see, and that's 1 inch there. All right, so let's do that. Get this out of the way. And then you will, if you're using the rivet way, you could sew it, but I'm going to do rivet. If you're using the rivet way, you're going to need this. You're going to need rivets. You're going to need 2 sets. So a male end. And do I want this color on this bag? No, I use silver. So let me go, because I use silver. These I'm gonna go with silver on the rivet. So I'm going to use 2 sets of this. This is the male end, and this is the female end. I'm going to use 2 of those. All right. So I have my 2 rivet pieces. I have my 2 swivel hooks, and I have my buckle. So let's put it together. For the strap, this is just for the strap part, and then I'll show you how. You basically just, once the strap is made, you just connect it like that. But we need to connect it to this part to make it into the strap. So that's what we're about to do now. Move this out of the way just for a second. When I sew, I do the bobbin thread and the top thread the same color. I prefer it that way. I prefer not to see white like I do on my embroidery projects, which I am going to start switching to black thread. But because I like that, it doesn't matter which side I use it on. No matter what color I'm using, if I'm using red or blue or yellow, I always use the top thread the same color. So now that I have this ready, we're going to feed in one side of the strap with the buckle. Now on the buckle, to tell what's the right side and the wrong side, when you look at it, there is a loop over. It loops over. That's the right side. If I turn it under, you can see that there is a opening right here. That's under. So it loops over. You can see where it closes. That's your under side. That's the wrong side. We want to be on the right side. And we're going to stick this right upside. I'm going to go into this hole here and over this hole. So I'm going to go over this little handle here. And once I do that, you see, you can pull on it. I just want like 1 inch or so. like so. So now this will be my wrong side, and this is my right side because this is folded over. And I'm going to put a hole with my hole punch or your rivet press, whichever you prefer. I'm going to put a hole in the middle. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I'm going to put a hole. And you heard it snap. So there's my hole. And I'm not sure, when I did the hole on this side, it seemed like it was centered, but not so much on this side. So I am going to snap that again. Try to center it the first time. I'm hoping the head of my rivet. How is that? Oops. Okay. So I'm going to put the on the front side, the right side. I'm going to stick this rivet, the male in, and it's mine anyway, so I kind of hit that, so that's great. All right, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to place the female in on the other side. And I'm just going to press it together. All right, now that you have that, that's one part of it there. So now we're going to take this, and I'm on the front side. This is the back side. I'm on the front. We're going to slide it down and keep the right side up. Make sure it's on the right side. I'm just going to slide it over until I get all the way to the end, making sure that it's not twisting. And I'm going to take making sure it didn't twist on me. I'm going to take this in here, and I'm going to slide this swivel hook with the hook side on the top. And I'm just going to slide it. And I'm going to just keep sliding until it meets back up with the other side. So I'm just going to pull it. So now my swivel hook is on this side, and my other part is on this side. And I'm going to come up and we're going to slide this part inside the buckle here. On this side. And once we slide it up, we're going to go back over that side. So really this rivet, this very first rivet that you put on, don't make it fancy, because it actually is hidden. See there? It's going to be hidden. Don't make that one fancy. So if you into the bling and you want to put a rivet, don't put it on that one. Put it on the last one. So now that I have this part, this side, and this side I just added, I'm just going to pull on this here. And once I pull it, I have this side and this side. This is in the middle. So you can pull on it. So here, there's my buckle. And now I'm going to take the end piece here, the top. This is my buckle here, and this is my top. I'm going to take this piece here and add my other swivel hook. Remember, I'm putting the swivel part on top. And I'm just going to get maybe an inch or so. And then I'm going to put another rivet. Now this one here, this rivet here, you can't make it fancy. Try to make sure it's centered. Don't be like you're on that part where it didn't center. I'm going to do the hole from the top this time. I did it from the bottom, and I shouldn't have. I'm going to make sure this is centered. I'm going to put this in the middle. And to make sure it's centered, you see this right here, that's the middle part of that hook. I'm just going to make sure I'm kind of lined up with that. And then I'm going to press the hole. Okay, now it's centered perfectly. Make sure you do it from the top and try to center it with this. So now I'm going to repeat the process. I'm going to put this here. That is the male end. And then I'm going to put the female in on the other side and press to make sure it doesn't come off while I am trying to do the press on it. I'm just snapping it in place for just a minute. And then I'm going to take my rivet press and press it harder. All right, so now we have the strap. I'm going to go back and press this one. So that's the first one. And if you don't know how to use a rivet press or don't have one, you could definitely just take it and stitch across with an X in it. But since I have this rivet press, I'm going to press it real quickly. And then you could watch my video on rivet press. I showed how to use one. All right, press that in. So my rivet press is pressed in. My rivet is pressed in for that one. And that one is hidden, so I don't really have to worry about that one. This one here on this end, though, I do have to worry about, so please make sure that's centered. And then I'm going to lift. And then I'm going to press. Out the way. And now, you have a strap. One side, buckle. And then this side. So what you can do now, it's when you do it that way, it allows for it to be pulled and adjustable. So the person can adjust it however they want. All right, so I'm going to add it to the back so you can see. There's the bag. I like this one here because it turns and I can put it which way I want. I'm going to take it and snap it on. This one here opens up and like that. And then on this side, I'm going to take and do the same thing to this one. And let me lift it up so you can see. And now we have a crossbody. An adjustable crossbody. Voila! Inside, outside, two-tone color, silver hook with adjustable strap. Love, love. All right, there is the dupe bag. It's finished. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. I will definitely be looking in the comments for anything that you have. Have a great one. Follow, hit, subscribe. Thanks for watching.